All right, we are going to be talking about first foods, starting solids, and I've been getting a bunch of questions in my question box, in my DMs, and there's just like a couple things that I want to clarify here, so welcome. And if you have a question about starting solids, your baby starting solids, please let me know in the comments, and if you don't mind, do the little heart emoji because that will let other people know that I'm on live and get more people to the program. All right, so first question that I have that I wrote down that I'm gonna cover is, will it be enough? And enoughness is a question that I get a lot. And I wanna say that we come up against this place of feeling like not enough. And I think that has a lot to do with social media and comparison. And so when you're feeling like you're not doing enough, go ahead and silo yourself to just people who live around you and try to get on the phone less. Now, this mom was specifically asking, my baby is on a gut healing protocol, but I am not. Will it be enough? So the answer to that question is nuanced. It doesn't have the same answer for every person. A baby on a gut healing protocol when a mom is eating inflammatory foods can in some cases keep baby from making that next step of progress. Other times I see baby getting really strong and mom doing just adding in some healing foods and not taking out all the inflammatory foods. So for example, if your baby is still lingering with symptoms and your baby's on the gut healing protocol that I teach in the Starting Solids course, but you haven't been able to help them resolve, a couple things that are just hanging around, then what I would suggest in that case is that you slowly start to make the changes yourself. So you can do that just based on, what you learned from the First Foods protocol, or you can join Mama Baby Biome, which teaches you exactly how to get on the protocol yourself safely as a breastfeeding mom. And those courses are different. The content has overlap in concept, but all of the lessons are different because the courses are different and the intentions are different. So in the First Foods plan, it's all about starting solids step by step by step. And in Mama Baby Biome method, it's about gut healing for the whole family, for older children, and for mothers. So sometimes when babies are healing, mothers need to also heal alongside them. And honestly, this is the way that I recommend it. This is the way that I did it for myself. This is the way that really makes the most sense to me because mother and baby are a shared ecosystem, which brings me to another question that I got recently. And I just want to shout this to the rooftops. So a mom asked me, okay, so if you saw my question box, you might have seen that a lot of people will ask me why would an exclusively breastfed baby have symptoms? Why does my breastfed baby have symptoms? Because mother and baby share an ecosystem. So you are not separate from your baby. You are not really separate from your children ever, in my opinion. But especially when we have young babies, especially before 3-4 years old, you are sharing your ecosystem with your baby. Your family's ecosystem is making up the total microbiome of the home, but you and baby have a unique shared system because your baby grew inside of you. And so when a mother breastfeeds her baby and the baby has eczema, that is because the mother has an altered microbiome. Now, it's not just eczema that it comes as a symptom of an altered or an imbalanced microbiome. It's reflux, it's rashes, it's immune problems, it's intolerances. All of these are connected to the gut microbiome, which is exactly what I teach about. And that is conceptually where I created Mama Baby Biome, because it's a shared microbiome between mother and baby. However, that does not mean, so someone asked the follow-up question, well, I'm confused. If a mother's microbiome is dysbiotic and bad or imbalanced, shouldn't that baby be on formula? No, absolutely not. Because even though the microbiome of the mom might be causing some symptoms in baby, that's a shared ecosystem. It's already what the baby knows and lives, okay? We don't want to bring in an outside thing necessarily in replace of what's naturally already present there for baby. Now, if your baby already started on formula to begin with for whatever multiple reasons, which I help moms with often as well, Then we're gonna just wanna slowly transition them off the formula using solid foods when the time is right, or a homemade formula recipe, which I teach inside the First Foods course. But I really don't want people to misunderstand this concept, because breast milk is so healing, nourishing for your baby no matter what. And because of modern times, because women are coming into pregnancy depleted, because there's so much toxins in the world, we've had a really, and people use pharmaceuticals way more than they have in the past, like I'm talking human history past, because our food is way lower quality, we're not getting the minerals, we have nutrient deficiencies. Mothers are coming into birth and their babies are having a lot of symptoms, which is exactly what I help moms solve here. And I'm dedicated to this because I feel like it's so profound and a lot of people just don't know. And you can help your milk become better for your baby. And that's like a crazy thing. Like, I feel like it's a crazy thing that people don't really accept this overall. Like, there's this idea out there that no matter what you eat, your nutrients in breast milk doesn't change, which that just can't even be true based on like how digestion works, right? Like, you ingest your food and that food becomes breast milk. Now, key nutrients that your baby needs are going to be taken at the expense of the mother, but that doesn't mean that a mother who's on a nutrient dense food diet versus a mother who's on a processed food diet and eats fast food, that their breast milks are the same, just because the body is biologically designed to feed the infant. Of course, we're going to feed the infant. That's what's going to happen with our bodies, but those breast milks are not the same. And that said, it also doesn't mean that breastfed mom who's eating fast food shouldn't breastfeed her baby. She absolutely should breastfeed her baby. And so I think people get caught up on that idea of, if we talk about how diet influences breast milk, it's going to make less women breastfeed, because there was a huge campaign to get women off breastfeeding, which was done by the corporations, and guess what? It worked. And we're in the backlash of that. So some of you might be the first woman in 3 generations or 2 generations to breastfeed your baby, which is amazing. So breastfeeding is a little bit of a topic, but since I'm always talking about the microbiome and gut health and reactions, which are coming seemingly from breast milk, I just want to be super, super clear that I am pro breastfeeding no matter what circumstances your diet is, your gut microbiome is, and wherever you're at, wherever you're coming to this from, you can make incremental changes that make it better for all, okay? That is the whole idea here. We want harmony and peace and rapport and flow between mother and baby, or mother and child, so that everyone feels the best in their body, the microbes are in balance and working really well. And you can do that in incremental steps. And that is what I teach here in my courses. So the First Foods plan is on sale this weekend through Sunday night. And I'm excited about that because this course has helped a lot of moms, and it's a really great way to get started. Basically, if your baby is 4 months to 12 months old, this is a gut healing course for you that specifically focuses on how to introduce solids. And if you've already started solids and things kind of went wonky, or you just want to learn more information about how to heal your child's gut while starting solids, the course is for you, and I have lessons in there on how to adapt week by week if you've already started, your baby's eating much more, right? Okay, so that brings me to the next question. It's, should I move faster through the plan if my baby is older? Yes, you don't necessarily have to move faster in terms of what you're introducing, but you can move faster in terms of quantity. So an older baby, or even just a baby who shows that they're hungry, feed your baby. Like, some people will DM me and be like, you only said 1 teaspoon of meat stock and like they look really hungry. So if your baby's hungry, you can feed them more. Now, I do want to caution this, because one thing that happens is our babies are depleted in a certain nutrient. This happens with fats a lot. Babies are a little bit depleted in fats. We need to give our children more fats. All in all, we are depleted in our fats. And so a baby tastes bone marrow for the first time. And the baby's just like, oh my God, I love this bone marrow, oh my gosh. And they're just eating so much bone marrow, and the mom's so happy because they're like, look at my baby, they love bone marrow, this is amazing. Spooning it. And then a couple hours later, the baby pukes. Not to be concerned, right? what that means is that your baby had too much fat and they couldn't digest it. Anytime we puke or we have nausea, that's related to the liver and the gallbladder. And so even though your baby was showing you, oh, I want this bone marrow, mommy, keep feeding me, it's good to just go slow until you've had a little bit of a window where you can understand what their tolerance is, even for a healing food. So that's why I always am teaching moms to go slow, because we just want to see how their body responds and support them through that. Now, my kid has thrown up from a food before, and that's okay. I also say this because I don't want you to get freaked out or worry too much. Like, I have a mom in my coaching group, and she's like, oh, my kid threw up from egg yolk, and like now I feel like I have to wait all this time to reintroduce it. And I asked some follow-up questions like, was it just one throw up and then he was done? And she's like, yep. And then I'm like, okay, I'm really not concerned about that, because guess what? Yolks are fatty, they're very healing, and sometimes we have a little bit too much too fast and we just vomit it because that's what the body can do at this time. So now she's on to multiple egg yolks, and she didn't have to, wait a really long time, and her baby's progressing. He's actually like a young toddler. He's like 20 months, something like that. But like, that's the kind of information I want to get out there, which is very different than a baby who pukes until they're lethargic to a specific food or a very small amount of food. That's something different going on. And I have education both in a free form, which is my FPIES masterclass. So if you suspect FPIES or you've been given an FPIES diagnosis, you need to comment FPIES on any of my reels and you can get my free masterclass. And I also have FPIES instructions in the First Foods course for how to step-by-step start solids, heal FPIES. People, you can do it. People have done it. And this is what everybody in that space needs to know, because I've listened to like a couple conventional podcasts on FPIES and just trying to get a sense of like what's going on outside of this very niche information that I have. And people are flailing. Doctors have no clue what to do. Mothers are distressed. And so I'm trying to get this information out there for people to have, because it's life-changing. Okay, it's life-changing. We don't just do this to be like, oh yeah, my kid's intolerant to this food forever. No, we're doing it to change the body, to change the ecosystem so that we have thriving children, and not just for this generation, but multiple generations, okay? We don't do a healing protocol. We don't do all that work to stay allergic to a food for years. No, we heal the body so we can eat foods, okay? That's important. All right, next question. This mom says, I'm doing my best to give nourishing foods, but I don't feel like I'm doing my best. Okay, so here's the thing. That's what I said in the beginning. Like, gotta put your blinders on. You gotta just focus on yourself in the now, and you gotta nourish yourself too, because moms are depleted after birth. So we have a serious depletion in B1 and B6, which are important for our mental health. And if we have a baseline of nutrients that will keep us alive, that doesn't mean it's going to help us thrive. And gifting your nutrients to your children is the biological way. It is the birthright of your children, but we need to be replenished from those nutrients. And like I said, a lot of moms are showing up depleted, okay? So if you don't feel like you're doing your best, first of all, go outside. Second of all, eat more egg yolks. If you can't eat egg yolks, you need to eat heart, you need to eat liver, you need to eat nutrient-dense foods that are going to make you feel alive again, okay? And don't compare yourself to others, because it's way too easy to compare yourself to other people in this Instagram world, okay? Get off your phone, stop swiping, seriously. I know you don't want to hear it, but I'm telling you, go outside, get your eyes in the sunlight, eat sardines, eat liver, eat steak, eat plenty of sea salt, and you will start to feel better. Hug the people around you. These are the little basic human things that we need. All right, peanut recommendations for a 9-month-old baby who's already sensitive to legumes. Okay, perfect. So this person, you don't need to go for peanuts right now. If you already have any sort of sensitivities, you need to focus on gut healing. With gut healing, building foods. And if you understand what I mean when I say build the gut or building the body, go to the pinned post on my page, and that will explain it with research studies there to cite everything that I teach. 6.5-month-old doesn't like meat stock, also finding it hard to have meals prepped. Okay, so not liking meat stock. Basically, babies' palates are untrained. However, if that baby's been on formula or is only used to sweet breast milk, it might take them a little time to adapt to meat stock. You just be patient. Add a little bit of sea salt, add a little bit of herbs, little finger licks throughout the day. This is something I've preached since the beginning of this page, since I had 100 followers. If you want to help your child change their palate, then you need to give them healing foods in micro doses consistently throughout the day. When a child doesn't like something or a baby doesn't like something, it's not about getting them, spooning them, forcing them to eat multiple spoonfuls in one setting. No, it's about having a little cup of stock on your counter. Every time you walk by, you take a lick and you give a lick to baby. Okay, you have play a little fun game. Let's pour the meat stock. Everybody likes to pour, it's a young baby, so they'll just watch you and then take a straw, take a sip, put your hand in it, lick it, right? Like we have to, our senses are how babies learn. That's why they touch everything. That's why they put everything in their mouth. So when they're starting solids, it's very normal and natural for them to touch everything and put it in their mouth and play with it and not eat a lot of it. That's fine. But eventually we're training their palates, we're training their microbiomes, we're healing their guts, and we're helping them to transition to these healing foods. And it's our jobs to be, going there in a calm and confident manner so that our babies can thrive. All right, so environmental allergens like from dog spit, is that gut related? Yes, it is. And this is really interesting. So anything that is touching our skin that's making us react, anything that is environmentally like going into our nose, like allergies, pollen, all of that is gut related as well, because our gut microbiome, yes, it's the biggest like conglomerate of healthy microbes in our body, but we actually have a microbiome all over. We have one in our eyes, in our nose, in our mouth, in our skin, in our blood, in our organs. Like every place has its own specific microbiome, its own pH. It's very miraculous and very specific, right? That's how our bodies thrive. So when we have environmental allergens, that means that our protection, our first layer of defense is not strong enough. And that's our microbiome. So it could be that we swallow pollen, we swallow dog spit touches our skin. That means our skin microbiome is not balanced, is not strong enough. It's not creating that barrier to protect us. And that's why we go from microbes from the inside out and the outside in. So if you're in any of my courses, you're in my coaching programs, you will hear me preach again and again. Microbes on the skin, microbes in the mouth, microbes in the sinuses, microbes in the throat, microbes in the ear, eating our microbes, bathing in our microbes, right? What do we do with that? All that whey that we have left over from making our homemade yogurt, put it in the bathtub, put it on the kids after they get out of the bath. Ancestrally, there was such a reciprocal relationship with our microbes. We were way less hygienic and yet way more healthy. So be a little less hygienic. I'm not saying like eat in the bathroom and that kind of thing. Use your good mind and your common sense, but just maybe don't be so freaked out about like healthy microbes on your counter, and don't put Clorox bleach on everything, and don't put hand sanitizer on every 5 seconds. Okay. Focus on adding in microbes to your home and your world. Okay. So, I have to go. But there's a couple questions in the chat I'm going to answer, and then I will hop back on another live. I just want to remind you guys that the First Foods course is on sale through the weekend. I am excited about that. It's a great course. It's my most popular course. And if you have any questions about that, you can check out my stories. It's probably answered there. And we have a ton of testimonies to that course on the page as well. Okay, great. So here I am. Let's see here. Is the First Foods Plan a gut protocol? Yes, it is. So the First Foods Plan is specifically a gut healing protocol for infants who are starting solids. Okay, next question is... Okay. First of all, thank you so much for what you do and share. My question is, I have a 3-year-old who's been struggling with eczema in the past year. Which path should I take from your perspective and teachings? This is going to be Mama Baby Biome. So Mama Baby Biome method, Mama Baby Biome is a concept. It shows us that the family is connected. The mother and the child are connected through their gut microbiome, through their nervous system. So if you have an older child, then you need Mama Baby Biome method, which is going to go on sale next weekend for Black Friday. And you need that course to heal your child and your family. Okay, since my baby's all on formula, can I salt the meat stock right off the bat, or should I do a batch without salt? Go ahead and salt the meat stock. Great question. Okay, is it common for a child to be allergic to cod liver oil if they're allergic to fish? I would go really slow. I mean, it depends on what kind of allergic reaction they had to fish. But if they're reacting to fish, I would say cod liver oil is less allergenic, but I would still want to do some gut healing first for 2 to 3 weeks with meat stock and ferments before adding in cod liver oil. But also sometimes, this is what's misunderstood, sometimes reactions from the body are more healing type reactions than allergic reactions. So again, it depends on what kind of reaction your kid had. I don't know that, so I can't fully answer it. Okay, from all the courses, what course should I choose for my underweight baby? Absolutely the first foods plan. That's gonna help your baby gain weight. And mom just DM'd me today and she said her baby was in the first percentile and he's already up a pound a week since starting the course. And she's so excited and he's crushing it. So definitely have a lot of moms helping their babies gain weight. My baby had colic and mild eczema. I went gluten-free, dairy-free, and sugar-free, maybe soy-free, in addition to meat stock, and it cleared up and she started sleeping. Yay, that's so good. And now what you would want to do is, I'm so glad you didn't eliminate eggs. Now we want to start bringing in some properly prepared dairy, and I'm so glad she's sleeping. That's fantastic. She used to have skin reaction to eggs and avocado, but that stopped. However, it started up again recently. Is she needing more meat stock now? I would go into, she's 17 months. Yes, so I don't know what other food she's eating, but yeah, I would go in on healing foods and liver support. And that's great. So she stopped having reaction to avocado and eggs. Fantastic. Keep her going with yolks. Keep her supporting her liver. Is Manuka honey good for the microbiome, and how young can we introduce it to a baby or toddler? Yeah, honey is good for the microbiome, but I wouldn't introduce it, before 1 necessarily, just because of the sweet taste. All right, so I'll be back here on another live soon, but also please check out the sale. You can go to my stories. It'll be posted there. You can comment BFSAVE on any of my reels and you will get the link, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much.